be entering our workshop session. I think I already read the statement of adequate notice, but we probably should do a roll call. Thank you, Mr. Truba.
Mrs. Beal,
Here.
Ms. Gilman. Here. Ms. Hayes. Present. Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Mr. McGovern. Here. Mr. Lamas. Here. Ms. Delarico.
Here.
Ms. Tortorella. Here. Mr. Weinstein.
Here. Okay, thank you. Let me see. I think on the president's report, I think I'm going to pass until we have our regular meeting. Mr. Superintendent, would you like to?
I will defer to the second half.
Okay. And Ms. Truba.
The only thing I will bring up in this meeting is the classes, the mandatory classes for Board of Ed members are now available. So when you decide you want to take them, please call into my office because my office has to register you for the meeting. The classes, okay? Thank you.
Are they, Tina, sorry, are they not, they're not like on demand?
They are, they're still virtual.
Okay, okay.
They are. So you just have to pick the date.
Can you send a, there used to be a link, that's a link for spreadsheet that showed us what we needed.
Actually, you know what? I will back up for 1 second. For those of you who told me you're coming to the African American History Month's assembly on Thursday, just meet in front of the school in the vestibule area. Are you coming in? Is that
I
your-
can't
Oh, you
go
can.
this Thursday.
Okay.
I was going to ask, I mentioned doing it again at the intermediate school, which might be a better date for me.
Okay, I didn't know that. So I'll find out.
So
But
I'll ask.
okay, so just meet at the front entrance of the high school in the vestibule area. 7:25. You're all coming in at 7:25.
Was the whole board like that? Did I miss them?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
that's
apologize.
okay. It's not too late.
Thursday at what time?
No, 7:25. That's the first one.
7:25
was-
a.m.
I thought it
Was it 8?
8:30. I think like
That's a
8:30.
good
and
time for me.
That's even better.
I would not have.
But John,
agreed
you
to
get
That's
there at
fantastic. Let's do 8:25.
that.
I think I just
Seven
brain. I
times.
thought it was
Seven
8:25.
times, but
I
I'll confirm the
basically,
time. You
I
want to go
put
to the
on
first
my-
session though, right?
Yeah.
I'm coming to the first one and I did put on my calendar 8:30. I think
Okay.
it's like
Sorry,
8:33.
it's programmed for 7:25.
So I think it's an 8:30 and a
That's
9:30.
fine.
I regretfully.
8:30. That's, man, you don't know how you just made my night. That's fantastic.
okay.
So just that reminder, front of the building.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Gilman, the presentation of minutes, would you like to do this now or would you like to wait till a regular meeting?
I'm sorry,
Would you like to do those now or like to
I'll
the
do it
regular
now.
meeting?
for the minute.
You want to wait till the regular meeting?
Well, yes, okay, cool.
Can we have financial management, Natalie?
All right, 2 items for discussion. Thank you. 2 items for discussion this evening. 7.1 Board of Ed and Administration will discuss an agreement with Solutions Architecture to provide a district-wide facilities evaluation in accordance with the attached proposal. I believe we have Frank Messinio and Thomas Strasser here for the discussion. And 7.2 Board of Ed and Administration will discuss use of facilities in accordance with the attached list dated February 15, 2022. Ms. Truba, I guess you want to do 7.2 first?
Yes.
So it's just, it's discussion.
Yeah, this is all discussion. So is there any questions on the facility use?
Alex, that one question you asked.
Oh, yeah, I asked,
They're a for-profit group.
I know
so,
they are.
Yeah, I mean, the kids get it for free. I mean, obviously, part of why they do this is they're trying to get further additional business of their services. So
Alright.
we would typically not waive that. That's a really nominal fee.
Okay, I know, it's so low.
All right, we want to go to the
Yeah.
solutions. So,
Yeah.
Frank, Tom, take it away.
So if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Please go right ahead, sir.
Just so everybody's on the same page, we're gonna leave here at 7:25. Okay, you go downstairs, so the meeting starts right at 7:30. Okay, so we're in midstream sentence, we're out of here. Okay,
That's fine. We're gonna make this quick. So you have a proposal in front of you for a district-wide facilities audit. Now, Solutions Architecture's been in district for 20 years. We know the buildings, we know the schools. However, obviously, there's a transition that's occurred with facilities personnel and the facilities, and we've done a big referendum, done a lot of work. However, what we're talking about is an understanding of the health of the facilities that are left, that we have, the work that remains to be done on an annual basis. This facilities audit is comprehensive. Now, in years past, you have the LRFP that's done by that we submit to the Department of Education, which has really become a compliance document. It doesn't help you from a facility standpoint. So what we're proposing is a district-wide facilities audit, which would involve us going through each of the buildings, architects, engineers, and basically creating a listing of items that need to be done. In the years past, we would have created for you binders. And given the number of schools, there would be several binders, and there would be a photo report, and there'd be a cost estimate, and there'd be a written detailed report explaining the deficiencies and explaining all of the things that are wrong with the buildings. Given current technology and where we are now creating a website for you. So what you see on the screen, by way of example, this is Bridgewater School District. Bridgewater has 22 buildings, so it's the first one we've ever done of these. It has proven to be an amazing report. It's at your fingertips. You can give anybody access. It's completely protected. But what it allows us to do is create a report that will provide categories that we're going to go through each of the buildings. We're going to look at site, building envelope, building interiors, mechanical systems, electrical, plumbing, and fire sprinkler. We're also going to prioritize the items that we think require immediate need. Now, our priorities are our general understanding based on our areas of expertise. You may say, well, wait a minute, that's a hot button topic here. That needs to be a priority one, not a priority two. And that's where this dialogue comes in. We set some ground rules for a report like this, and this report represents a starting point, not an end point. This is an idea of what you guys need to do. The report is not an indictment of maintenance practices. There are things that are going to fail. There are only so much you can do out of your capital budget. There's only so much you can do, and oftentimes educational components take precedence over roofs, windows, and doors, which people don't see. So what this report will contain is, or this website will contain, is an idea of each school. I click on that school, it brings me to the report for each school. And what we are now doing is, instead of taking pictures of every room and taking pictures of the deficiencies, we have a 3D scanning software and camera that will provide a 3D model of every building. So what you're going to see is what you might have seen on a real estate website, where you can actually walk through the building. I can look around, I can look up, I can look down. I can go through the entire building and see what's in each room, what's in each corridor. And then what's going to happen is, as we go through each building, we are going to tag the deficiencies that we see. And those deficiencies will show up on the plan as dots. So all of those little dots that you see are a deficiency. There's something that was called out at some point in time in those buildings. So if I go to any one of these buildings, you will be able to see what's going on in the classrooms. And not only are the spaces, so if I click on this deficiency in this room, it'll say toilet rooms. A set of girls and boys toilet rooms is in the B, C, and D wings, is in disrepair and in need of replacements. So each of the components that's pointed out will be tagged. From there, this website will also show not only the floor plans, but there will be not only the models that you just saw, but there will be issues plans. So we will create a floor plan of every building to scale with everything that's involved. And what you'll see is it's color coded. Complete renovation of the space, upgrade finishes, lightings, upgrade flooring and lightings, whatever we feel needs to be represented in each of the buildings. So each building will have now a 2-scale plan that you will now have on file. Forget the myriad of documents you have downstairs in blueprints that aren't to scale, that aren't updated. And if we were to do something next year where we renovate a space, all we have to do is bring the camera back, rescan that portion of the building, and it falls right back into place so that you'll see the update. So this is a forever document. This isn't something you'll have today and gone tomorrow. So the idea here is that you'll have the issues floor plans, you will have the written report. This written report will detail all of the deficiencies of each of the buildings in greater detail. Let's take a little time. And then probably the single most important document that's in this report is a budget estimate. Now, this budget estimate is going to be broken down by each building.
So we have just a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? And let's just keep them so we still have some other things to do on the agenda.
I was just wondering, when was the last time we had something like this done in our district? Never?
Not to this, not like this.
We've
Not to
done-
this extent, but I mean, like where we've gone through and saw
We have
like
done,
what we needed
before the
upgrades.
2014 referendum, we came in and did an evaluation of each of the facility schools to determine what needed to be done at that level, what projects could be eligible for the referendum. So it was 2014 was the last time anything close to this was done.
Okay, great. John,
For what websites are these plans hosted on, or what platform? Because like from a security perspective, I do have a bit of an issue with our school's floor plans being available on the internet.
They're not available. They're secure. It's a secure website.
Right, so that's what I'm
It's only
asking is
available to you. You
I
have-
understand that. What I'm asking is the platform that they're hosted on. What is that? Do you know?
It's your website.
So this is our own website that you're creating for us.
Correct.
So
It's on
then
your
who's
homepage.
responsible for the maintenance and updates to the security infrastructure of that website is what I'm asking.
If you update your website security wise, you'll update this.
I guess they're saying our internal.
Michael,
people.
Yeah, it's completely secure. Anybody that has access to this website will have a username and password. If the board member is no longer on the board, you will revoke their user access. And the good thing about this website is that the police department, the fire department, they could all have access to what you want them to have access to. Not everybody has to have access to the plans. Not everybody has to have access. So we can limit access to each of the components in this report.
Any other questions?
Since you kind of did like a poor man's version of this in 2014, if I can be so, flip, will we be able to find out from that list, like what was accomplished in that referendum and what, like, will we be able to see, oh wait, that was never done in 2014, so we still need to do that bathroom. We
So-
still need to do that ceiling, whatever.
Yes, and so the list that was created in 2014 was for the referendum. So it was specific to the referendum projects. While there were projects that didn't make it in, over the following years, we've actually done some of those projects. We finished certain HVAC projects or things that didn't make it into the full referendum. So yes, we have all the information of what was created prior. We can certainly compare the two against what we find now.
Did we come to a conclusion on a fair competition of future bids? That question was posed in the last meeting and I don't believe it was ever answered.
I mean, if this creates an unfair.
If there's a
advantage
conflict of interest for this firm, since they're creating all of this on future bids for future work.
Yeah, I think we did not have a discussion. Did you look into that at all?
well, I mean, the solutions.
I'm
have
okay
been-
if we can't
No,
have
no,
this
no.
discussion right
Well,
now.
Solutions Architect has been our architect of record for 20 years.
Right,
So we haven't really gone out to do RFP for architect.
okay,
Okay. Now we could decide to do that, but typically when your architect is there, they know your buildings
Yeah,
better than your
understood.
maintenance people. They would not be performing the work.
right,
So that goes through all the competitive bidding process that you have to do, and they help write the technical specs
okay.
of what's needed for the construction project.
So
for
legally,
example,
we're not
some of
at
the work.
risk.
So they could
They
do
do
some of
this,
the work,
they do
right?
this, well, they help us with the technical specs, they help us,
So they could
write
do-
an
But
RFP.
there are people for that, right?
Yeah.
If I can just add to that, so for professional services, you don't have to go to bid.
Right.
It's not
Okay.
required. However, over the years, when Ken Janarone was here, Ken would put out an RFP, even before the referendum, after we had spent a great deal of time. He had spent a great deal of time putting together the referendum. He put out an RFP just to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do. And we competitively bid against everybody else. So over time, you can certainly do that, but it's not
Okay.
required under professional service.
Okay, great. Hey, Grayson, did I cut you off before? I didn't mean to.
You did, but it's okay. I just have one last question.
Sure, sure.
The referendum, I mean, can we see what was included in that? I mean, we weren't on the board, some of us back then. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good. Would everybody like a copy of that or?
Yeah.
Just
We lived it, but we also, I mean,
does that work for you to pull out?
No, listen, that's a budget estimate we can provide. We have it.
You can email it.
It's, yeah, that's.
I don't wanna
We don't have
have-
it. There's
I like to know about
presentation,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
we can send it.
No, I'm sure we can find the old presentation. Exactly what it is.
I'll give it all.
Before we let Frank go, so we can get to the rest of the agenda, anybody have any other questions at this point?
Are you a certified minority, veteran, or women-owned company?
We are a small business.
Registered
We
with
have
the-
a
with the
veteran,
state?
we do have veteran employees, we have minority employees,
But you're not
we're not an MBE or a W.
but you're, okay, thank you.
And just one thing I just wanted to add about the facilities audit. Annually, we end up meeting with the clients, with the districts, and we evaluate what projects you guys are going to include in your budget each year. And what this kind of does is every single year, we're able to update that list of projects, whether we went out for a referendum using this or not. And we're able to kind of eliminate and still kind of reprioritize and restack which project we want to do. And we already have a starting point. And what we end up doing is bringing in anything additional that kind of needs to be done that come up that wasn't necessarily a priority 2 years ago. When we did the facilities audit, it basically became a priority. We could add that in. It gives us a good balance, a good starting point as far as starting the discussion.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So, if it's okay, because we're gonna really run out of time, there's other things to cover here. If we could kind of end this session now so we can stay on track. Is that okay?
I just want to know when they're going to start.
Oh, we have to approve.
We have to
that.
approve it.
We have to approve it, yeah.
After approval.
What I want to do is I definitely want to get through the forecast for this year, make sure we have the money, and then, I'll put it up for further discussion, and then approval.
I think this team said also this will really help us with our-
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Before the budget's over. I'm trying to do it, have the work done this year, so I'm trying to see if I can get it in this year. So it wouldn't be for 22, 23. I try to
You
start
have
the
to pay
work
for
this year.
them to do the study first.
Yeah.
I understand that, but what Tina's saying, she was trying to get it in the 21-22 extra money that's here.
If
The
I have
budget
it.
that we did
Yeah.
last year. and
Because
not-
I have professional service budget, so I just want to make
No,
sure.
we're talking about to get some of the capital stuff in for next year's budget. Will it be done before the
No,
next year's budget?
next year's budget, what we're trying to put in is the HVAC, which we went out for RFP last week. That came back. We do have a lowest bidder, and that is with our attorney for review. And then we're trying to get one of the sections of the roof done. So those are two very big capital projects for next year.
Okay, great. Well, I just want to thank you for coming.
No
Sorry
worries.
for rushing you.
No, it's fine.
Thank you.
Was there a lot
Understand your
more?
budget. Pardon me?
Well,
Was there a
well,
lot
first,
more?
I don't know if do we have to accomplish all today for everything around this?
The only thing I'll tell you is based on the proposal you have, there's a price associated with the work that we do. We don't expect to make money on this. It's not what we do. We're gonna lose money on this. We're gonna spend 2 to 3 times what this cost for this is. And the reason that we do it is because every February, you're gonna do new projects, and that's where we hope to make the money. So it's not something that we're looking to, get rich on one thing. That's why we spend the time, and we can show you the hours that we spend. The fee on that is capped, so if we spend more, you don't pay more. But what you're gonna get is kind of what you saw. So,
Great, great,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
no worries.
Number 8, Irene, instructional.
Ready to go.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, 5 items for instruction, education, and student activities, 8.1.
You want to just ask me if there's any questions on these?
Are
I
there
don't
any
mean to
questions?
interrupt.
Nope.
It's just to facilitate the time.
Exactly. So our calendar, the suspension.
This is
report.
now the calendar for 10-month employees outside of teachers and students. So they'll both be on downstairs. Suspension before we already talked about. This is curriculum writing hours. Overnight trip for wrestling. Alex, do you want me to answer this question? Do you
Yes,
have
I have
it?
a question.
Okay, so the wrestling, this is something we do every year in anticipation. And Irene, you should not vote on this downstairs. So a
Right.
Reminder.
Right.
Anticipation of students who will make it to, and normally it's no more than a handful of kids. Handful would be a lot. usually 3-4 kids. And this is in line with what we've done every year.
And they miss school if they make this
2
tournament?
days, 2 days. They go after school on Wednesday, and the competition, and thanks to the NJSIAA, yes, it's during the school day, and it's Thursday and Friday. It's
And a lot of things are
Thursday and
like,
Friday.
like bowling, they
Yeah,
miss
they have
school,
to
like a
go,
lot
and
of,
that's
a
right,
lot
the
of
bowling
these things. they
competition
miss.
in this. Yeah, that's every kid who makes the stage is gonna miss school.
And maybe this is a discussion for later, but I hope not more than 2 teenagers are sharing a room together.
It's usually,
I mean, I don't have teenagers yet, they're 11, but I do have a problem with that. I feel like there shouldn't be more than 2,
and,
so I don't know.
I mean, obviously, if there's 4 and we gotta get 2 rooms anyway, then it would be 2, it depends, but it's no more.
Well, there's
I don't
4
think
in the
I think
DECA.
three's
They're
too many.
good. Trust me, they're fine.
That's-
They're
That was
perfectly
pretty good.
fine. They want to be together, honestly. These kids,
I
they
I
like
know,
to do
but
this.
Sometimes they don't
sometimes
know
we make
each other. though.
decisions for them.
Oh, they've been on a wrestling
reason.
team all year long.
I'm talking about the DECA convention or
What I'm saying?
the DECA. There's 4 in a room
Yeah,
and some of the kids don't know each other. I mean, are they offered, pay more and you can have your own
it's probably a
bed?
good parent question that could be asked of the advisor. As a parent.
But I don't like 4 kids sharing a room either.
That is.
Yeah, there's 4.
Because you're sharing a bed with potentially somebody you aren't friends with, right?
Right.
That you don't know?
Isn't that what college, I mean.
Yeah.
It's very
I know,
difficult.
but then, aren't there like 8th graders or 9th graders going? I think that's uncomfortable situations for some.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for many years. I mean, I think most schools do it. I don't think we operate any differently.
But I think the point is they're doing it and they haven't done it. If I was a parent and didn't want me to share a bed, I'll pay for a separate room.
And the kids are.
Well, if that's an option, that's great. Nobody's saying that's an option.
Well, the advisor would know.
Any other questions around the
Construction.
personnel? We're gonna.
Downstairs.
Right, and then, policy, have a second reading,
Final, well, right, second on that for here and then everything.
and then, so the next.
So,
So
want me to say it or
if we don't talk about
You can
policy
just say
here, we don't.
You can
downstairs?
wait till next Tuesday.
No, well, there's always discussion before. we
Yeah, there's
vote.
always discussion before we vote. So you can bring it up. And on the public relations side, public relations, I think this was you, Shawanda. that
I
submitted.
submitted,
Is there
just if
anything you
there's
wanna
any
cover?
questions, but if,
did a really good job on
Yeah, I'd like to
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah, nice job.
I will just say here, not necessarily downstairs. The idea about the retreat, that was something I didn't even know that boards could do. And I did put the 2 caveats that they suggest. The one I did not put in there, I thought it was a no-brainer, but just for giggles. It has to be in your, or it should be in your township or your, which I didn't even think about. So that was the one piece I did leave off, but I think a retreat is a good idea and I would be open to it.
Okay. We should put that on one of our workshops where it's a little longer, we can discuss it.
It's usually done in the summer.
Mhm.
Sets the,
Okay.
caps the year, sets the goals for.
If I can just get a motion to adjourn the work session.
You do yourself.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. At this time, I'm sorry. At this time, does anybody from the public have any comments they'd like to make at this time?
President Weinstein, there are no commenters in the queue.
Great, thank you, Ms. Conway. Now can I get a motion to adjourn the,
Second.
great, thank you.
Who's the first one?